All right, so brothers, it's official. Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury will be fighting a scheduled 2 bouts, at least according to their contractual obligations. Starting this year, we'll see what happens. I do believe that the reason why it's a 2-fight deal is to ease some of the consternation and anxiety that Mr. Anthony Joshua has. There's very little doubt in my mind about that the 2 fights have been stipulated by the Anthony Joshua side, because no matter what Joshua says in public, he knows that he has nowhere near the boxing skill or craft of Tyson Fury. Does that mean that he has no chance to win this fight? No, it does not mean that, because he still has great heart and he also has great power. You can't take that away from him. I'm not a fan of his fighting style or of his chin per se, but he does have great heart. We've seen him get up off the canvas multiple times against great fighters who were more skilled than him. And in one case, against Vladimir Klitschko, he was able to get the victory. Now, in the other case, when he fought that fat boy Mexican, he got his ass mollywopped. Now, do I think that he's going to get mollywopped against Tyson Fury? We'll see. I think that Fury has the craft to do so. I'll hold off on my official prediction until the eve of the fight. But I don't even think that it's close when it comes to craft. But Joshua does have a puncher's chance. So anyway, they're going to talk about it. I'm going to chime in.
Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua agreeing to a 2-fight deal to crown an undisputed heavyweight champion.
You can't sleep on Joshua. He's the biggest economic engine still in boxing, probably including Canelo.
I personally don't see a heavyweight right now that can beat this version of Tyson Fury.
Neither do I, Andre Ward. Neither do I. And you know what's funny, man? It's so hilarious to me. All the elite level pure boxers, they said the same thing about Tyson Fury that I said before his first fight against Deontay Wilder, that being that his craft and his skill level is just way above the rest of these guys. But when Andre Ward and Floyd Mayweather said it, they were hating on Deontay Wilder. But as usual, the cream rises to the top. I mean, it is what it is.
English heavyweight champions going head to head. He probably one of the biggest fights of 2021.
And I'd like to welcome in my esteemed colleague, Mark Kriegel. Mark, you broke the story earlier this week that Eddie Hearn confirmed that Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury have signed a 2-fight deal. How did all that go down?
Painstakingly. This is a pretty arduous process. As you know, it's tough putting big deals together in the best of times. It's tougher when you have 2 different promoters. In this case, you had 3 different promoters, many of whom don't always like each other. So you had Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren, don't usually get along. You had Top Rank and Matchroom, not in the best of times right now. You have MTK.
Beautiful defense.
Tyson and Fury's advisors. And then you have the fighters themselves. I think that was the easiest part to deal with. So you had all these entities, and as Eddie said, in the best of times, getting signatures on the contract is the most difficult part. In this case, it took about a month longer than they had anticipated. They had been negotiating in earnest since January, and I'm not saying that the deal is done or where we know where and when it will be, but
why he got in them corny ass Apollo Creed trunks for?
It's I think it's realistic to think of this as a source of great encouragement for the fight.
So what could still possibly derail the fight? Ink is one thing, getting the fighters in the ring is something else.
Could be fear on either side. Please keep in mind, once again, I don't believe that Anthony Joshua truly thinks that he can beat Fury unless he knocks him out. And when it comes to Tyson Fury, he's always having psychological problems. He might have an anxiety attack. Who the hell knows?
They have 30 days from the last signature, which was Saturday, to find a site, or conceivably the deal could go away. Eddie says he's already had interest from about 8 or 9 parties. They include in the States, in Asia. I think the most likely scenario is it lands in the Middle East. I could almost guarantee you that this will not happen in the UK or the U.S. It's just the site fee doesn't work like that in this particular case. We don't know what exactly it's going to be like coming out of COVID. So you have about, 20-something days now to find a site. A promoter ultimately is a salesman, an epic salesman. And I think that Eddie Hearn and some of the other people here certainly foot that bill. What should give you confidence, if you're judging this by are we going to see the fight, is Eddie Hearn got a $60 million site fee for Ruiz and Joshua. What can he get here? Now, coming out of a pandemic, if you could get that kind of money, would you turn it down? I don't think so. You certainly should be able to turn a handsome profit.
Of course, they're probably going to end up fighting in Dubai, and both fighters will probably be making upwards of $25 million each, if not more than that, $35 million each. But it's going to be very interesting to see, just in the boxing landscape, if the number one site for high-level bouts becomes the Middle East, and they start to move away from the Las Vegas paradigm that really has dominated boxing for the past 40 years.
That kind of a site fee, I know that they're going for more here, 100 million, 120 million. Whatever the case may be, I feel confident that a guy like Hearn can solicit those offers. And remember one other thing, I saw he mentioned a billionaire in the Middle East yesterday. MTK is very, very strong all over the globe, but it's particularly strong in that part of the world. It's based in Dubai. That's Fury's advisors.
It is a shame that this fight doesn't wind up at Wembley in front of 100,000 plus, because that is obviously where it belongs. How realistic is 2 fights in this calendar year, 2021?
I think it depends on how the victor wins the first fight. I think that if the victor were to win by a dominating knockout or dominating decision, they may just hold off on the rematch while the loser fights a tune-up fight just to get his confidence back. But we'll see.
I think it's certainly a realistic possibility. That's what the plan is. The plan is for the first fight to happen June or July. I'd go with late July. I'd push this back the same way the negotiations got pushed back. And the second fight, November or December. So I'm saying December or January. About Wembley, look, I understand what you're saying. It would be nice to be there, but you can't.
He beat the shit out of that boy. Good Lord. Wilder fell down just like a damn bowling pin. To this day.
You can't want these things to happen and then complain about the market economics. It's just, the guys want to get paid. Everybody wants to get paid. Everybody wants to see it. This is how it's going to happen. You can't be for the free market on one end and against it on the other.
Mark, I can be for whatever I want. Of course, you're right. I'll take the perfect as the enemy of the good, but damn it, how can this not wind up at Wembley? All right, Chocolatito is...
But anyway, that's basically it on that, because now they're going to talk about Chocolatito. And topic of this video is Fury and Joshua. We'll see what happens with this bout. Of course, as of right now, I would give the decided advantage to Tyson Fury because of his boxing IQ, his style, his craft, and his overall toughness in the ring. But Joshua does have a fighting chance. So peace.